Spread this in a lot. Make sure to get like 3 days with them.
It is 9 a.m. Going to call the meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Johnson, would you lead us today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I may add that it is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. We are streaming live on YouTube. If you have a cell phone, if you would silence it, and if you need to take a call, step out into the hallway, please. Item number 2, call for public comment. We will take comments from individuals on items that are not on the agenda, just for information only. 2 numbers are 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. We will address those during the open part of our meeting. Item number 3, conflict of interest items. Are there any for fellow commissioners?
None.
All right, item number 4, action to approve the October 25th, 2022
So moved.
agenda. Motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 5, action to approve the October 18th, 2022 minutes of the Codington County Board of Commissioners. Motion by Johnson, second by Waterman. Any additions or corrections? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. We'll jump over monthly reports. And we'll go to item number, well, that's Brad's as well. We'll go to item number 8, notice of intent to hold fundraising raffles / bingo by Joy Ranch of South Dakota. And that information was in your packet. It's just a typical sort of announcement to let the public know. It's by statute that they are to announce that. You want to add anything, Cindy, that they're holding a raffle?
What you see in front of you is all the information I have received.
All right. So that's just a notice. We don't need to do anything else with that. Emergency management is here for his report, so we'll let Andrew come up and fill us in on what he's been doing. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Morning.
So after our last update, we checked radios for the upcoming P25 conversion. We're in really good shape there. Since most of our radios were purchased within the last couple of years, so we only have 4 that are gonna need to be updated. Laptop updates, like I added like all the laptops that are in the EOC to a schedule just to make sure that we're turning them on at least monthly, getting them updated. Sherry kind of did a lot of that last month. We also identified a connectivity issue that I mean, the router went out when we were down there. I think it's still under warranty, so we're sending it in, getting it replaced. So I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have any surprises when we try to stand that up. And you know, we're sitting on computers like waiting for hours for them to get updated, or
Is that going to affect the backup center at all?
Nope.
Radios?
shouldn't.
Okay, it's on a different router.
Prep the storage room for the repeaters at 14th Avenue Water Tower for winter. It's just something we do like twice a year. Just go out, open vents, close vents, make sure that everything looks good. Turn on a heater. So there were 3 training events that Sherry and I attended. One was Salamander Live. It's a credentialing system and accountability program or software that the state funds. They had a bunch of updates on it. So it was kind of my first introduction to, you know, some of the capabilities that it had. Sherry's pretty familiar with it, and it's just like a refresher for her. Another was called Crisis Track. They kind of unrolled this app at SDEMA. Really, it's supposed to streamline the paperwork for if we have a disaster. We should be able to send a link out to like an impacted entity, like if that's like a township board member. Should be able to send them the link after we like open an event, and they could take pictures of damages and like it should like geotag it and just kind of streamline like a lot of the stuff that we currently have to do manually. I mean, in theory, it sounds like it could be, pretty beneficial. So hopefully that works well after we get a little bit more familiar with it. Actually, Rick and members of the highway department came with us to Brookings. And then we attended mitigation for emergency managers and peer. That's an advanced professional series requirement. Reason that's important that we attend those classes is because our LEMPG funding is dependent on us getting like our professionals development series and our advanced professional series done like on a schedule. We completed our final quarterly report for the LEMPG last week. We got everything submitted for that. Cindy, Steve, Sherry, and I got the remainder of the information to our FEMA rep. So we should be pretty good there. They have a site visit scheduled. Just to kind of finish out, closing out the May 12th disaster. We're probably going to have to file for an extension just because of when the tree pile is getting burned and when we're going to get those replanted, but that shouldn't be an issue. Sherry participated in a tabletop exercise at Glacial Lakes Energy. Went over, like an ammonia like rupture and different things there, like just kind of like talk through some scenarios and went over, what capabilities, like who brings what to the table. And then our PDM, kind of one of our bigger projects, it was sent out to the planning team. Well, and it's also posted on First District's website for the 45-day review. If you're looking to access it, you can go to First District's website and then links, downloads, and it'll be 2022 PDM final draft. So again, that document kind of discusses mitigation projects that our planning team and, communities came up with just to, and it depends for its requirement for mitigation funding for projects. Other than that, responded to a semi with a load of grain that went into a slough. Kind of talked to Danner a little bit, and it may have changed how they decided to get that out. So that went pretty well. National Weather Service released their winter weather outlook. Basically, it's going to be another La Nina year into the spring, and that means, cooler temps. They can't really say if precipitation is going to be above or below average. So just likely going to be a good winter.
Err on the side of caution and don't say one way or the other. Could have more, maybe less.
Well, I mean, yeah, they just look at the historical trends.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding that La Nina doesn't really, like they're not seeing significant impact on precipitation totals during those years.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
You know what? We'll do the burn ban. We'll do number 10, discussion possible action to enact a burn ban resolution while you're here. What's your thoughts on that?
Sounds good. I mean, so the drought monitor did get updated. Now about the western third of Codington is considered D1 drought. The rest of it is still currently abnormally dry. That was last updated on last Tuesday, the 18th. When we're looking at the forecast for this upcoming week, it looks like we have a 30% chance of rain Wednesday night and a 40% chance on, 30% chance Wednesday night, 40% chance on Thursday. I think the peak wind speeds that I saw were gusts of 29, which was on Thursday as well. I mean, I kind of went out and drove a little bit. it looks. I mean, if I were to try to put an estimate on it, I'd say there's what, 15% of crops still in the fields. I mean,
All of that.
it seems like the majority is out. And talking, well, there was a fire on Sunday, Florence, it seemed like a bearing on a combine was going bad. Person driving it and took it back to the farm, and then they look back and, you know, there's smoke coming from the field, and then there's like a 60 to 80 foot wide swath, about a quarter mile long that burned. But again, that's not going to get mitigated by a burn ban. I mean, we still haven't seen anything. I think that the farmers are being pretty responsible.
Yep.
One of the volunteer chiefs said that people planned on waiting until, you know, all the crops are out, and then they're going to till around the stuff that they need to burn, and they kind of want to burn it off at that point.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it sounds like people are waiting. They're cognizant of, you know,
No burn ban.
the current
No.
conditions. I think
Is that your recommendation? No burn ban?
yeah, I think that everybody's doing the right thing. And I don't think that it really mitigates much.
Right. That was pretty good on Sunday, as windy as it was, that it wasn't more than that. But yeah, that was just another one of those mishaps, not intentional. So,
Yeah.
Understand the tractor and a disc pretty well took care of it. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, they said that they just sent out well, there were more people there, but it was the discs and then a couple of brush trucks that they had
Yeah.
out there too, so.
all right. Sounds good
Thank
then.
you.
We'll
Thanks.
just keep it on maybe one more week. We should be getting down there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or just,
Every morning I wake up, the asphalt's wet right now with the
Kinda
frost and stuff,
yeah,
so.
and it seems that way.
all right. Well, you can decide if you want to leave it on or not. Let Cindy know, I guess, if we want to keep it on for the next weeks or not.
Sounds great, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on then to the sheriff's report.
Thanks, Andrew. Morning.
Good morning, Brad.
How's it going today?
Good.
That's right. Just wanna take one, pass them on down. We'll get started with the monthly balance sheet for the checking account there for the sheriff's office here. Monthly bank balance end of September of 2022, $8,715. Receipts not deposited until October of 22, or $2,269.50. For a grand total of $10,984.50. You can see we collected $12 in copy fees, $8,504.92 in sheriff's fees, $1,303.08 in executions were collected, and $275 in warrant fees were collected for a grand total of $10,095. Brings our total back to $889.50. Jump to the next page there. You'll see in commissary checking account, monthly balance sheet. Bank balance end of September, $28,689. There was $265 at the time in the lobby ATM and booking kiosk machine there. For a grand total of $28,954. Resident balances were sitting at the snapshot when we did this was $1,718.09. Commissary items and plus tax spent $4,679.53 for a fund balance of $22,556.38. Grand total $28,954. See that averages out. We're still back to our 15,000 original that we started with there. The county made $1,489.22 in commissary. That's our 30% commission for the month of September. You can see those numbers are staying about the same, about average there.
So on the way so some of the resident balances are already deposited in the bank and somewhere in the kiosk. Is that the way it?
Yeah, it depends on when the timing of
Just the
when we
timing,
empty
okay.
that kiosk. The time that we, like say this was just a snapshot at that time, people are coming and going. With the inmate money, if they get released, they get their money back, if anything that's left in their account, so. We'll get a check or a card printed out to them. See, that's not necessarily that's not our money. That'd be like, say, inmate.
Right.
If that's
No, I
a
get it. Yeah.
kind of question. Pull up to the last page there. We'll talk about some of the activity of the sheriff's office and the jail there. Lee's got it pulled up on the screen. You'll see for September, cases and calls for service, we responded to 607. Responded to 14 accidents. Responded to 61 warrants were served. And civil papers served, 191 civil papers served. And transport miles, there was 3,965 transport miles put on for a total of 17 transports with 23 people that were transported. Scroll down to the middle of the page there, we'll go over some of the jail numbers. Our average daily population in September was 62.87. Our high average daily population was 70. Our low ADP was 55. We had 23 people on the Scram bracelet, which is part of the 24/7 program. 6 people on remote breath, 33 people on the twice daily PBT, and 44 people on the twice weekly UA, and 1 person on the sweat patch, for a grand total of 107 people in the 24/7 program. So bookings were 207 bookings for the month of September. You see, looks like that's kind of staying in average. Last couple of months were a little bit lower. That 2 to 210 seems like it's kind of the average number here for the last year. So scroll on down to the bottom, we'll see in the month of September for out of county contracts, there was $14,320 that was collected. There was $3,530 in work release fees collected, $6,479 in 24/7 fees collected, and $4,042 in scram fees that were collected. That were dispersed. So questions on that? I just got a couple other quick little topics here. I'm in early discussions with our 3 smaller schools, rural schools out in the county, Henry, Florence, and Waverly South Shore right now, about doing a school resource officer. We're talking in early discussions about maybe if they would go a quarter towards this person's salary, and then the county would do a quarter. Like I say, very early discussions. It's been well received with the schools. I feel there's a need for going forward with something like that here in the future. I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about maybe 23, end of 23, maybe 24 for next year's school year. Like I say, still real early discussions with the schools on that and how that program would look. So I figured I'd just kind of fill you in on that one a little bit. So
Yeah, that would fit into the whole JDAI and the diversion
would help with
diversion stuff. Yeah.
with that, it'd be a good liaison back to the agency and also a liaison to the diversion program and to the school, and having one dedicated person that's in there talking to the superintendents. Right now, they'll oftentimes just shoot me a text or call me personally if there's an issue there. We do have deputies that are in the schools, but we have deputies that are rotating shifts. So they're in there for, one day here, a little there. This will have a dedicated person that can grow them relationships a little bit better and build on some of those programs that are build on the DARE program and build on the vaping and build on some of these educational things that I feel are in need. So,
Well, the Watertown School District has had that in place for quite some time, and
yeah.
it's our smaller rural schools has never,
Yep.
been able to have that
So is that-
advantage.
With that deputy, then Brad, would they be like in one high school one week and then rotate to another one the next week, or how would you?
Like I say, we'd have to do an unpredictable schedule.
Okay,
Just for safety reasons.
Right.
You can't have it set so that I know there's a deputy here between 8 and noon every Monday and
Mhm.
Thursday.
right.
So it would be something that I'd have to divide up the hours between the 3 schools to keep it
Internal.
fair
Mhm.
for the contract or whatever that we would come up with, and kind of jump around. Like I say, I wouldn't mind them if they could hit some games.
Yeah.
I still want the other deputies to still be a part of that as well, but I just do think it'll help open the lines of communication and help with some of the issues that that could be coming down, and issues that we're seeing. So
How would the logistics work as far as an outlying school, someone that'd be recommended for the diversion program or something like that? Because that's where the Boys and Girls Club, right? Would they have to find their way here, or
Like I say, that's something that, yeah.
There's a lot of things to work out, yeah.
There's a lot of things to work out there. Like I say, part of that diversion thing is we get with Louis Canfield, the diversion program
Yeah.
coordinator here at the Boys and Girls Club, and he will set up a time with the family or whatever that to coordinate what this student or what this child needs to do for their diversion program. Now, all kind of depends on the level of their crime
Yep.
or whatever. If it's vaping, or do they need just educational things? Do they need to do some community service? Do they need to do something more than that? Does it need to go back to the courts? So just by having a school resource officer in the school, it's a benefit for the students as well. Because I'm a past DARE instructor and spent many, many years teaching DARE to our students. I got to know those 5th grade students by name. They would know me. You know, back then it was Deputy Howell, how's it going? Brad, how's it going? So I got to know them and I get to know their families a little bit by having a school resource officer in there that's dedicated and not a changing deputy every 4 to 6 weeks. You get to have that personal contact and kind of a confidant. They kind of become another counselor, somebody that they can come and talk to, report crimes to.
That's just watching the whole JAI and diversion thing, you're just seeing school resource officers in Watertown and how they interact with with like Lewis and the state's attorney's office. I mean, they get to know particular students, and they know they have a better sense of what they need because they're constantly seeing the same kids.
And some of the schools are asking, well, how does that look in our school? I go, well, that's something that we would have to build that for your school. Kind of looking at that, just like the name says, that position's a resource. Let's say they might end up having to help teach a class a little bit. They might end up being here or there, doing educational things, trying to stay ahead of the game.
So would that result in a new position? Is that what you're looking for?
In
A new
the future,
deputy?
like I say, if all this comes together to fruition, like I say, we have 3 school boards that we have to deal with
Mhm.
to get on board, and then I'm sharing it with you guys too, because that would be a new position that would be added. Like I say, kind of looking at funding, each school district, like I say, I've kind of proposed just initially, I haven't done any hard numbers,
Right.
but I did kind of propose it to the school boards and the superintendents, and they're really, really open and excited to maybe do like a 0.25%. Everybody does a quarter of that person's salary. And then we, the county, take a quarter or something on the lines of that to kind of share the responsibility of the wages of this new person.
That's currently what the city of Watertown does. I believe the school district pays a certain portion of the officer's salary.
Yep, I think the school district actually pays
SROs.
half of
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
SRO's salary, so.
Good.
All right. Is that it for your report?
That's
Anyone
all
else
I
have
got
any?
shaken. I'm
We
still
have-
having heating issues and cooling issues with our heating and cooling. I'm sure Steve has talked about that.
Right.
They'll come in and it's 50 degrees in a bank or something like that. So I think he's still working on the RFP for
Mhm.
going forward, so we can hopefully get these kind of.
Get everything fixed, yes. All right, so we'll move on then to item number 7. That's action to authorize advertising and hiring of full-time correctional officer to fill a vacancy.
We had a person that was hired, working for about a month and a half. Their past employer offered them more money to come back and work for them for no nights, weekends and holidays. So they bailed and went back to their past employer. So that's open position that we'd like to get hired and get trained again and get them up and going.
Go ahead, Lee.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Gable, second by Van Duzen. Any other comments, questions? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries.
All right.
Should be good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Item number 9, we're going to skip over. We haven't heard anything back yet on that quick claim deed. So item number 11, action to approve claims for payment. I did see we had that 911 one, so.
Yep, they have several different kinds of claims today. So the first one we'll take separately is the 911 surcharge collections for the month of August.
I will excuse myself.
Paid to the city of Watertown in the amount of $23,497.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson, second by Gable. Commissioner Van Duzen will recuse himself from this vote. Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
And then we have our miscellaneous credit card charges that always come in at the end of the month. The first one is Visa Rely Bank, $61. That was for fuel for the auditor and treasurer to attend the South Dakota Association of County Officials Convention. Second one is also Visa Rely Bank, $62.56 for the sheriff's office. That was also for fuel. $50 Visa Rely Bank for the coroner to register for training at Sanford. And Visa Reliable for the welfare office, $878.74 for various pieces of office equipment.
All right,
We'll make a motion to approve.
motion by Gable,
Second.
second by Johnson. Any other comments, questions? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Not hearing any. That motion carries.
And then we have salary claims for the month of October in the amount of $631,401.17.
Move to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen,
I'll second.
second by Gable. Any other comments, questions? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item number 12, action to approve automatic budget supplements.
I have nothing for 12, 13, or 14.
All right, we'll go on to public notices, possible quorum of commissioners. Anyone have anything that on their calendars, there could be a quorum? And we go, let's see, next week, we won't meet until Thursday,
Nope, we
nope,
do
that's the
meet.
next one.
Yep,
Yeah,
we do meet the first.
it's the 10th that we do
Next,
that,
next Tuesday, the first.
right? It's getting a week ahead. I don't have anything. No one else does. All right, let's move on then to old business. Any old, I guess I might mention, went to the 911 meeting. If anyone wants any of the information, can scan it and get it to you. Troy, want to add anything to that?
I can send you a packet if you want a
If
packet,
anybody
just let me
wants
know.
a packet. Okay,
But
just to let you know. How about any
Appreciate
new
counting.
business? Right, anything for the open?
I just
We-
had one quick thing, just Brad, some mentioning of the SRO. Just for everybody's information, the Boys and Girls Club just did a ribbon cutting last week. On a new part of the Boys and Girls Club that handles mostly diversion, but it gives that little bit of separation so that, you know, the individuals that are in those programs have an opportunity to be mentored and for Lewis to talk to them basically. But that was a nice event, and it's a pretty appreciate all the support that, you know, the county, the city, but a lot of donors give to the Boys and Girls Club in order to make things like that happen. So it's not a major thing. It was existing space, but it was just made remodeled a bit, and so that they could be used separately for those programs. So that's the JDAI and diversion.
Right.
diversion.
And this has been in place for, I mean, this isn't the first year. We've been doing this for
Yeah.
quite a few years, actually. So.
Yeah, but there was a facility, it was a facility that allowed, it was just a facility that will make the program work a bit better, I think, so.
All right,
Madam
we do
Chair,
have a need to go
do-
into
I do
executive.
have one
session.
more thing for the open.
Sure.
If I can just ask for an update, since Rick is here and you're here. A while back, the city had approached the county with a possible partnership on their building project for the street department. Can I get an update where we are with those talks, and has anything been done to move that forward? Are we still considering that? Are we not?
That's still in the works. There was some emails, I believe, Rick, you received some quotes on the fuel part of that. Those emails have been sent on to Bruce Bueller, so it's kind
Okay.
of, they can look that information over, and then I'm sure there'll be more discussion after they
Okay.
have a chance to look at that. So
All right,
nothing at this point.
thank you.
Anyone else have anything? Otherwise, we do have a need to go into executive session under personnel issues and contract negotiations. So would look for a
So
motion,
moved.
motion by Johnson,
Second.
second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will be in